between A.O. Smith and Rheem. Both are strong water heater brands, but they lean in slightly different directions. A.O. Smith tends to win on long-term reliability and set-it-and-forget-it peace of mind, while Rheem usually pulls ahead on smart features and top-tier efficiency, especially in hybrids and heat pumps. Overall difference. Here's what matters first. If you want a water heater that feels like a solid commercial-grade workhorse, A.O. Smith is often the safer bet. If you want a high-tech, ultra-efficient unit with app control and detailed energy data, Rheem usually has the edge. Both brands offer wide ranges of tankless, and hybrid models, so the real decision is less which brand and more which line within that brand fits how you live and use hot water. Energy efficiency and performance. Rheem leans hard into efficiency, especially with its hybrid heat pump models, which can cut electricity use dramatically compared with standard electric tanks, and are frequently highlighted as top picks for energy savings. A.O. Smith answers with very efficient gas and electric units of its own, including condensing Vertex-style gas models that push efficiency into the high 90% range, making them strong options if you want power and efficiency in one package. When people compare them side by side, Rheem usually comes out slightly ahead on raw efficiency numbers in heat pumps, while A.O. Smith is more about strong, consistent performance across a wide variety of setups, from homes to light commercial. Reliability and lifespan. Both brands have solid reputations, but A.O. Smith is often described as the one you pick when you care most about long-term reliability and don't want to think about the system much after it is installed. Rheem units can absolutely last, and some lines are praised for fast recovery and good performance under heavy household demand, but A.O. Smith is often framed as very high on the reliability ladder versus Rheem's high. Bottom line, if you have a busy household and you value consistency over clever extras, A.O. Smith is usually the one plumbers and review sites mention as the more conservative, reliability-first choice. Warranty and support. Warranties vary by specific model, but you typically see A.O. Smith and Rheem offering standard coverage in the 6 to 10-year range on many residential units, with premium lines pushing toward the upper end of that span. Some Rheem series stretch up to around 12 to 15 years, while A.O. Smith highlights strong coverage plus support that is positioned for people who care about long-term protection. The practical takeaway is that both can give you good coverage if you buy in the right tier. But A.O. Smith is often framed as slightly better for warranty plus reliability as a package, whereas Rheem's appeal is more great warranty plus advanced tech. Price, features, and noise. At similar capacity and basic spec, prices are often close, but Rheem's smartest, most efficient models can cost more up front, with the trade-off being lower operating costs and richer app-based controls and energy tracking. A.O. Smith counters with features like very quiet operation on certain heat pump units and strong performance-focused designs that feel more industrial than gadget, which some homeowners actually prefer. So if you want a heater that talks to your phone and squeezes every bit of efficiency out of your power bill, Rheem is usually the pick. If you want a quiet, capable unit that just does its job year after year with minimal fuss, A.O. Smith is often the better fit. Installation and maintenance. Here's where reality hits. Both A.O. Smith and Rheem want these units installed correctly, and that usually means a pro if you're dealing with gas lines, new electrical circuits, or a hybrid heat pump. Rheem is very explicit that its heat pump water heaters often require a dedicated 240-volt circuit, proper clearances, good airflow, and usually professional installation to keep the warranty and local code inspectors happy. A.O. Smith's own guides stress drain pans, correct plumbing connections, and safe gas or electric hookups, and they strongly hint that if you are not fully comfortable with that work, you should bring in a qualified installer rather than experimenting on your mechanical room. On ongoing care, both brands' heat pump models need simple but important maintenance, like keeping air filters clean, managing the condensate drain, and occasionally checking for scale or sediment if you have hard water, which is pretty standard across the category. The bottom line for you, there is no huge advantage for A.O. Smith or Rheem purely on installation difficulty. But Rheem's smartest, most advanced models push you harder toward professional install, while A.O. Smith feels slightly more straightforward if you are buying a simpler electric or gas tank and just want a conventional setup. Gas, electric, and heat pump choices. Both brands cover the full spread: gas, standard electric, tankless, and hybrid heat pump, but they lean into different strengths once you get into the details. Rheem's hybrid heat pump line is one of the stars of the efficiency conversation, often showing up on best of lists for people who want to slash their electric use and are willing to pay more up front for long-term savings. A.O. Smith, meanwhile, is frequently praised for its higher-end gas and condensing units that deliver strong recovery rates and very high efficiency, making them a favorite for households that use a lot of hot water and prefer gas as the primary fuel. If you are thinking pure electric and staying away from heat pumps, the gap between the two brands shrinks and the decision becomes more about local availability, installer preference, and warranty tier than some huge performance difference. In that world, picking A.O. Smith because your plumber swears by its tanks, or picking Rheem because your local supplier stocks every part for it, is a perfectly rational way to decide. Noise, space, and everyday living. Here's what matters that people often miss: where the heater lives and how it sounds when it is working. Rheem's heat pump models move a decent amount of air and can be louder than a plain electric tank, which is true for nearly all heat pump water heaters, so they are happiest in larger spaces like garages, basements, or utility rooms that meet minimum volume and clearance requirements. A.O. Smith's comparable heat pump units are also not silent, but some product lines and reviews call out their relatively quiet operation, which can matter if the unit sits closer to living areas. Space-wise, both brands impose similar rules for heat pumps: enough cubic footage of air, proper clearances, and somewhere for condensate to drain or be pumped. So you do not really pick one over the other purely on footprint unless a specific model's dimensions make or break your layout. If your install spot is a tight closet or hallway, you may find yourself steered toward a standard gas or electric tank from either A.O. Smith or Rheem instead of a hybrid, which again puts the brands on more equal footing and shifts the choice back to reliability, cost, and warranty. Real-world reputation and reviews. When you zoom out and look at homeowner and contractor feedback, a pattern shows up, even if it is not mathematically precise. A.O. Smith tends to get framed as the steady, durable choice, especially by people who have had one last a long time without much drama, and by pros who work with a lot of commercial or light commercial A.O. Smith gear. Rheem often earns praise for performance and features, particularly on its higher-end lines, but you will also see more stories tied to installation quality, app setup, or warranty claim experiences, simply because the tech stack is richer and there is more that can be misconfigured or misunderstood. Neither brand escapes complaints about customer service or warranty headaches, which is common in this category. But if you read between the lines, A.O. Smith is slightly more associated with "this thing just kept working," while Rheem is more associated with "when it is set up right, it is fantastic, but getting there matters." That is not a reason to avoid Rheem. It is a reminder to pair a feature-packed Rheem unit with a competent installer and to follow the manual rather than treating it like an old-school dumb tank. Which one should you choose? If you want the simplest decision rule, use this. A.O. Smith if you care most about long-term reliability and a more traditional, no-nonsense feel. Rheem if you want maximum efficiency, deeper smart features, and are okay investing in a careful, possibly more expensive installation. A.O. Smith tends to be the sleep well choice for people who just want hot water with minimal thought, especially in gas or standard electric tanks. while Rheem tends to be the optimize the system choice for people chasing lower energy bills and more control. The smart play is to narrow down your fuel type, size, and budget first, then compare one or two A.O. Smith models against one or two Rheem models in that exact category. Ideally, with input from the plumber who will actually install it. That way you are not buying a logo, you are picking the specific heater that fits your house, your utility bills, and your tolerance for tech, using A.O. Smith and Rheem as two very solid but slightly different paths to the same goal. Reliable hot water with as little hassle as possible.